So if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race. It's about
a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy. It's about
but
going
it's
after
not
Jews
about
and
race.
gypsies
But these are two white groups of people.
Well, how do we have to black people
see them as white?
But you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white, Jews, everybody eats each other. So if you're uncomfortable, if you hear about mouse, should you be worried? Should your child say, oh my God, I wonder if that's me? No, that's not what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, I don't wanna be like that.
Well, hopefully.
I don't want to be cruel.
Yeah, most kids, they don't want to be cruel.
No, they don't. And we're living in an era where people are comparing vaccine cards to the yellow stars, where people are comparing vaccinations.
So what's on tap for today, folks? Well, as you just saw in the introductory clip, remember when Whoopi Goldberg, part of The View, which we affectionately called The Rear View, one of the cackling hens of The Rear View, remember when she basically just stepped in it and then took her foot and put it right into her mouth? That's exactly what you saw before. And what's happening now is that Whoopi Goldberg hasn't learned her lesson. All she was doing, folks, when she issued that apology, and we'll get to that in a little bit, the previous apology that she had after she came on the show and made that comment about that the Holocaust was not about race, she now doubles down in another interview, and people are just absolutely going nuts, and they appropriately should do so, because when somebody on the right misspeaks or says something that shouldn't be said, the left and the cackling hens on The Rear View, they start having eggs. They just start, you know what, but they just start putting out the eggs, folks, right there on The View. You know what I'm talking about. So what we're gonna do in this clip is we're gonna go through, I'm gonna give you my reaction to her apology previously, and stick around to the end of the video because we're gonna go some of the background material. What exactly did she say to this interview that she gave, I believe in the London Times or whatever, I think it's inside there, but we're gonna get to all that. But before we do so, I wanna thank you all. You're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I happen to be the guest host today. My name is Dr. Shaikh. And if you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button, the notification bell as well. Like and share this video, you know what to do. So let's get to the apology that was offered about a few months ago in reference to Whoopi Goldberg saying that the Holocaust was not about race. We'll get to that right now.
Goldberg has issued an apology for saying the Holocaust, quote, wasn't about race. She sparked the controversy during a conversation Monday on ABC's The View. CBS 4's Elise Preston has the details.
Whoopi Goldberg says she got it wrong.
Words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret.
Now, when she came on initially and she made the apology, okay, fine, people misspeak. They say something, they were thinking something or whatever. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, which is something that the left and the mainstream media and the alphabet cartel mafia media and the alphabet networks, you know what I'm talking about, the hypocrites in Hollywood, of which these are definitely a part of, they don't do that to the same degree as we do on the conservative side. Or whatever, but let's continue.
My comments, as I said, and I stand corrected.
She apologized on Tuesday's episode of The View for her comments on the Holocaust.
The Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
It's about a different race.
But it's about man.
If you take a look, let's hold on.
Inhumanity to man.
The remarks came during
And you saw Joey Behar, right? She doesn't, I don't think she knows what to say. In her mind, she's starting to think, but she goes, this is my co-host. How do I sort of, what do I say to sort of bring her back or have her, walk back her words? But Whoopi doesn't, obviously.
During a discussion Monday on The View about a Tennessee school board's removal of the graphic novel Mouse from the 8th grade curriculum. The board banned the Pulitzer Prize-winning book about the Nazi death camps, citing nudity and profanity. Others at the table, along with critics, pointed out that the Nazis did see Jewish people as an inferior race. On The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, she tried to explain herself.
As a black person, I think of race as being something that I can see.
Goldberg says,
and that's the thing that everybody looks at everything in a spectrum of colors. You're black, you're white, you're yellow, you're not really that dark, you're tan, you're brown, you're this, you're that. And that's unfortunately what these people see. And so they don't want to mix the Holocaust in with race, because then what happens is that to progressives, to these leftists these black leftists that are obviously on the left, they want the race card to be only about black people. That's it. Whether they're black Americans or they're black Africans or whether they're black Nigerians or whether they're black Tunisians or whether they're black, Europeans or whatever. They want the race card to stay black. They don't want to mix something else in with that. And that's where I think Whoopi is really coming from, although she had some time to think about it. But that's where this is that's where this is stems from.
She should have said the Holocaust is about both man's inhumanity, and race.
It is indeed about race, because Hitler and the Nazis considered Jews to be an inferior race.
In a tweet, she added, the Jewish people around the world have always had her support, and that will never waver. Elise Preston, CBS News.
So as we've said, she really hasn't learned her lesson, and that means whatever she was saying in her apology beforehand, all that was just words so that she could sort of get back into the good graces of the progressive movement. She could get in the good graces of, the people that were sort of calling for her head, for her to be fired, for all of these things. That's all she was trying to do. She wrote out the 2-week suspension, whoop-de-freaking-do. And then she came back on to continue cackling. And here she goes again. She's doubling down on the anti-Semitic comment the Holocaust wasn't about race. So here, let's talk about this here. She defended this remark in a weekend interview with The Times. We already talked about that back in February. She apologized on air. She was suspended for 2 weeks. And here's something, folks. Look at this again. This is the hypocrisy that goes on with all these people on the left. All the progressives, the moderates, every single one of these leftists and these liberals. They talk about everybody else appropriating something, right? You're appropriating the person's culture. Oh, you can't wear this Halloween costume, or you can't wear this dress, or you can't eat this food, or you can't make this food, or you know what? You can't take somebody else's culture. You got to stay in your lane, right? Stay in your cultural lane, stay in your ethnic lane, stay in your, if you're looking at it from color, stay in your color lane. If you're black, stay in the black lane. If you're white, stay in the white lane. If you're brown, stay in the brown lane. That's all they're talking about. If you're a race, right, stay in your racial lane. That's what these people want. And here's Whoopi Goldberg. She appropriates a Jewish surname. And then her real name is Karen Johnson. Just like we said with Sunny Hostin, her name is Assumption something. She's half, these people cultural appropriate everything. They racial appropriate everything. They do it on their own, but then when somebody else does it, they're the first ones to go ahead and point that thing out as if somebody's being bigoted or racist or homophobic or whatever, transphobic. And that's just not the issue. But when they do it, it's perfectly fine. Now let's go on to see what they talked about here. Again, she talked with the Interview Times. They were killing people they considered to be mentally defective, and then they made this decision. So we're talking about this whole thing that now, one of the people who tweeted back said that anti-Semitism is deeply ingrained in Whoopi Goldberg. She learned nothing. When she gives this interview to the Times, what else are you to ascertain from that? I mean, what else can you take away? She again says that Jews, it was white on white. She just 10, 11 months ago was told that that's not what it was. But that's not what's in her mind. That's not the thing that she wants to get out there. All she was looking at was, it wasn't about race. It was just that they were like, defective people. They were mentally defective. There was some other reason. So again, it's that she hasn't learned a single thing. She's learned nothing. And then somebody here tweets that this is one of the times where I think someone should force Whoopi Goldberg to go to the Holocaust Museum and learn about the Nuremberg laws. I mean, it's just amazing. Let's see what else is out here. At that time, she claimed, because now, remember that everybody talked about white privilege? What about the privilege that you have, Whoopi? Actors' privilege, an actress's privilege. The black privilege that you have, being black, being on a talk show, being able to have your voice being heard. You're privileged. You have the privilege of having your voice speak to millions of people each and every single day without we're rebutting here, obviously, but not on a mainstream media channel like The View or on ABC, the alternative broadcasting, corporation. But she said she was canceled unfairly. I mean, the Times of Israel at that time called her comments incendiary, while Holocaust survivors and Jewish journalists said she had learned nothing. She continues to use the Holocaust as her punching bag. And that's exactly what's going on here, folks. So this here, as far as, the Jewish people are concerned, as far as, people on the conservative, she is persona non grata. Whoopi Goldberg or Karen Johnson. I mean, that's just incredible, isn't it, folks? Think about that. That just that's the one that really, all this is great, but for them to culturally appropriate a name, a Jewish name for that matter, and then basically completely take away any aspect of what the Holocaust was actually about. You know what? I don't think it's a matter of education. I think Whoopi Goldberg knows exactly what she is. She wants the black history, the racial history of this country and around the globe that occurred. And it was absolutely terrible. We know that. How many times do we have to apologize for slavery? And we were the country that fought. 500,000 men and women died fighting to free the slaves. I think we've apologized enough for that. But people like Whoopi Goldberg and others on the left, Democrats, progressives, moderates, those hypocrites in Hollywood, especially in academia, the colleges and universities, those people on the left, professors and teachers on the left, they don't want us ever to basically, they don't want to let go of it at all. They don't want to let go of it. I mean, for a single, because it continues to bring in money, it continues to sow seeds of discord, it continues to cause separation, it continues to give those that keep talking about it power, prestige within that community. It gives them leverage, it gets them money, it gets them all kinds of things, fame, fortune, whatever that is, because if you continually do things that are going to make people, divide people, well, you're always going to have an audience on one side or the other. And these people are really, really using it to their advantage, in other words, to try to really drive a wedge between, American people, where that's what we should be looking at, that we are all one people, we are all Americans, and whatever situation, whatever problems, whatever disagreements that we have, we should be able to talk those out peacefully, nicely. We may still, at the end of the discussion, the end of the debate, the end of the talk, whatever that is, we still might walk away from each other and say, you know what, I still don't agree 100% with what you said, but I defend your right to say that. That's what the First Amendment was about. So you know what? Whoopi, hey, she's got the First Amendment right to say whatever it is that she wants, all right? But then she's got to face the consequences, suffer the consequence. If that means, cancellation or another suspension or whatever that is. But you've got the right to say what you want to say, but then you've got to be able to understand that there's a right on the other side to basically say, here are the consequences, good or bad. Anyways, folks, that's what was in the news. There's so much more that's out there, and we're going to get to all that in some other shows and other episodes. So thanks for watching. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Shaikh. And if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like and share this video. Let us know in the comments below what you think what should happen with Whoopi. Give her another chance, cancel her, get her fired. What do you think? Put your comments down below. And I'll leave you with my final thought, and that is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.